This is an article on Slate.com here. I'll bring it up so give the writer some credit. And it asks this question: has Star Wars outgrown the Force? Marissa Martinelli wrote this article. And, you know, that's one of those things that initially you kind of like, it's not clickbaity, but it's one of those, all right, it's pulled me in, but it sounds kind of negative. And she goes on to make some cases of a lot of the storytelling now, including Solo. We know with the story of Han Solo, he didn't believe. We got Rogue One. Donnie Yen, he talks about ish. But and Star Wars Resistance, the Force has not awoke quite yet, almost. But though it's something in our past. There is this idea that Star Wars stories can exist outside the bubble of the Force, but we also know that lore and Jedi lore and Sith lore is very popular, and a lot of people even kind of want more of it. Sometimes Lucas will give you that, and then it's not what you want because it's maybe too sciencey in people's eyes. So it's a great discussion point, I think, to get us going here on the Force in Star Wars, the importance of it, because it is, but also how much do we need? Christian.
Listen, I am one of those people that... No, I actually think about this a lot because I have always really, really enjoyed the stories in Star Wars that are not about the Jedi. Hence, my love of Rogue One.
We're similar in that regard. We're similar in that regard.
And so my feeling is, has it outgrown the Force? No, but do I think that now is a great time to focus on telling stories where the Force is certainly present, but we're not focused on stories of people who are Force sensitive or who are Jedi? Yes. That's how I feel.
And you guys are entitled to that feeling. I am on the opposite side of that completely. Not because I disagree, but I think we've done it already. Solo, and we all agree that Solo didn't work. Not because it was a fine movie. It's just there's a lot of different reasons why it didn't work, and not being part of the Force that had nothing to do with why people didn't respond to it. Last Jedi there was things with the Force inside of it for sure, Force Skype and all that stuff.
Force Skype,
but not necessarily the kind of focus. Well, I don't know. See, Last Jedi to me was more focused on the Force than anything. So I think that there is a lot of Force inside of that. But I don't think that they're going to go away from it. I actually think they're going to dive right back into it. And I think if this Benioff and Weiss stuff is true, and it is the Old Republic, and we do go back in time with the formation of the Jedi and the Sith, you can't avoid the Force.
No, definitely. And that's the thing is I think when you're going into these time periods that in terms of actual official Star Wars canon are still somewhat nebulous, I do think that the early stuff with the Jedi would be absolutely fascinating to get a story about, which is certainly, I think, what everybody is hoping for in the Benioff and Weiss series. I think that the Force, to me, how much focus I want on it is entirely dependent on the time period you're talking about.
But it also depends on the characters and it's the story itself. Like I don't necessarily think that it would have worked time-wise. It wouldn't have worked in Rogue One. Like even the way that they set up, again, going back and praising Rogue One again, there wasn't a lot of call for it, and when it was Vader at the very end, and that was necessary. But the other things, I just don't think right now there needs to be a strong focus on the movies that they're telling. I think there's going to be a heavier dive into Episode 9 of The Force, because I think that what they're going to do better, to be honest, in my opinion, was to give you guys the stuff that you want, that you love, and also give me the stuff that I love. I think that it's been a little weighted heavier on your side of the things lately. Now for you guys, that's great.
Yeah.
But for people who are looking forward, like there was not one lightsaber fight in Last Jedi. There's not one. Like, give me a lightsaber fight.
I would say there was two.
Yeah.
Which lightsaber on lightsabers? No. Which lightsaber on lightsabers is a fight?
That's not the point of lightsaber fight. That's not the point. It's what we learn of the characters. We had two.
We had tell yourself that. But
we had two.
There were no lightsaber fights. There were no. There was a guy swinging a lightsaber fight at a hologram, and then there was two lightsabers destroying.
You want Clash and Blades.
I want an actual fight.
And Kylo Ren lightsaber fight against
they didn't fight each other.
Guards.
They wreck the guards.
That was awesome.
It was awesome. But it doesn't mean that it replaces an actual lightsaber fight. Like Force Awakens, lightsaber fight.
Perhaps one of the best.
And I think there's going to be some great lightsaber fights in 9.
Oh, I think we're going to get some big
ones. Yeah. But I think, too, that, to that point, how great is the payoff going to be now, having a really great lightsaber fight in episode 9, since, you know, you felt underserved by episode 8.
Right. Yeah. It's
a lot of people did.
Yeah, a lot of people did. And I respect that people have different things.
But I don't choose, and I know you don't choose, and you're not saying we're choosing. I as a kid, the Force is this thing with this weird kid Luke off to the side, and and again, is it the main thing? Yeah, he might be the chosen one. Vader's the chosen one. George will tell you Vader's the chosen one. So it's all important. So I always grew up knowing the Force was important. But he's on this side journey, and I was drawn, like a lot of people, to the big fight. So I think there's always a delicate balance. Solo, absolutely couldn't have it because, you know, unless... And I'm actually glad they didn't have some clunky scene.
Yeah, they made a Darth Maul for a second, but he doesn't even use it.
But I'm glad there wasn't Han going, I don't believe... You know, I didn't need that.
Yeah.
Rogue One, it wouldn't be present because of the oppression of the Empire. It's been push it out.
Yeah.
Cassian doesn't trust Jedis. But is Benioff and Weiss, are they going to dive into it? Absolutely. Is it going to be 80-20, 90-10? I don't worry about that. But again, look at what's going on in Game of Thrones. A lot of people don't like the magic in Game of Thrones when they were pulled into the show in season 1 because magic's slowly returning piece by piece by piece. I'd be interested to explore that in Star Wars a little bit because are there other religions? And this one seems right. Well, you got these space wizards, they're doing something. What does that mean? It's a little bit like the Lord of Light, R'hllor. Like, well, this is the only one bringing people back from the dead. This might be the religion that works. I'm fascinated with that. Don't get me. I do want to see that play out in Benioff and Weiss series.
Well, we're gonna find out sooner than later, everybody, because it is the end of the year. It's not even a year away.
I know.
Yeah,
nuts.
There's a lot of things in Star Wars that are supposedly really soon that we have basically seen nothing from.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, man.
Well, but we're going to be bombarded with it in 2 weeks.
I know.
Bombarded because you think about it as like, let's say you weren't going.
This is the second to last Jedi Council before we'll be in Chicago.
Yeah. So think about that though. Think about if you weren't going and you're watching, you're just waiting to see what news is going to come out. And on Friday, it's like, boom, here's a trailer. So you're excited all day long. You're just going to be talking about the trailer with everybody, breaking it down. What does it mean? What's that shot? Who's that? Oh my God, look, that person shows up, and then the poster will officially come out, and then the title will come out. So you'll get all that stuff. That's just on day one. And then on Saturday they're going to hear so much about Saturday about the theme parks. You're going to hear so much about the theme parks, and then you also get Fallen Order that day. So you're like, wait a minute, what's that? So now you have 3 big pieces of Star Wars news a year on overload, and then the next day you get the Mandalorian. So it's like boom, 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 boom. Is there going to be any other news that pops, like breaking news? I don't think so. I really just think Mandalorian will be footage. Maybe they'll show a couple scenes to people, and we'll probably get a trailer for the series. And I'm okay with that. So you're going to get 2 trailers that people are going to analyze the hell out of. You're going to get the video game that people are going to be excited about. And Clone Wars then comes out, I think, on Sunday as well, too. So it is going to be
it's going to be jam-packed.
Bombarded with stuff soon. Yeah.
I'm a little freaked out. Sorry.
What happened?
I went to the hashtag Collider Jedi Council on Twitter, and there's a promoted Yard House tweet in the middle of that with nothing to do. They must have known where you were having
they got our
lunch before
number.
the show.
They saw us over there. Funny.